Introduction to Series 2: The Price of Victory. After all the betrayals, secrets, and heart-stopping confrontations, Olivia and Samuel have finally broken free from the chains of her father's world. They've fought for their love, survived the storms, and now, with the final gamble behind them, they are standing at the edge of a new beginning. But freedom, as they will soon learn, comes with a heavy price. In this brand new chapter of Our Love Never Grows Old, the stakes are higher than ever. While Olivia and Samuel thought they had escaped the clutches of her father's empire, their fight is far from over. The real price of victory is the sacrifices they will have to make, some more dangerous than they ever imagined. In Series 2, The Price of Victory, Olivia and Samuel's love will be tested in ways they never thought possible. Betrayals from old allies, the return of powerful enemies, and dark secrets that refuse to stay buried are all part of their new reality. And as they race against time to secure their future, they'll learn that the line between victory and defeat is razor-thin. Part 1: The Calm Before the Storm. The air in the small apartment was thick with quiet anticipation. Samuel and Olivia sat across from each other, their fingers intertwined, but there was a palpable distance between them. After everything they had been through, the battles, the heartbreak, the lies, it felt almost surreal that they had come this far. They had beaten the odds, but there was still a gnawing uncertainty lingering in the back of their minds. "Do you ever think about what's next?" Olivia asked, her voice soft but filled with a question that had been weighing on her heart for days. Samuel looked up at her, his expression unreadable for a moment. "Every day," he answered. "But we can't focus on the what ifs right now. We've fought for this, for us, and that's all that matters." But deep inside, Samuel knew the truth. Freedom wasn't something they could take for granted. It was fragile, a gift that could slip through their fingers at any moment. The city outside their window had changed in the last few months. The once oppressive cloud of fear and uncertainty had lifted, but it had left behind something darker. Olivia's father's empire had crumbled, but there were those who had survived in the shadows, waiting for the right moment to strike back. Samuel had put everything on the line to keep his business afloat, and though they had managed to salvage what they could, the financial scars were still visible. Every decision he made now felt heavier, knowing that one misstep could undo everything. Olivia, too, was constantly haunted by the weight of her legacy. Her father's shadow was still very much alive, even if his empire was no more. It wasn't just the external threats they had to worry about, it was the internal struggle. Could they truly leave their past behind and build a life together? Or would it always be a battle to escape the chains of their family's influence? But things were about to change once again. A phone call, an unexpected visitor, or a new ally, or maybe an old enemy, was about to bring a storm to their peaceful lives. The calm before the storm was only temporary, and neither Olivia nor Samuel knew what was coming next, but they were about to find out in the most life-altering way. The evening was quiet, the kind of silence that wraps around you like a familiar cloak, and yet, for Olivia and Samuel, it felt unnatural. After the turmoil, the constant threats, and the barrage of enemies they'd faced together, this newfound peace seemed almost eerie. The streets outside their apartment were filled with the hum of life, but inside, there was a stillness that neither of them could shake. Olivia sat on the edge of their couch, staring out of the window at the city lights. Her thoughts were far away, drifting toward memories of her past, of her father's cold empire, of Daniel's shadow that had hung over her like a dark cloud for so long. But now, even after all that had happened, the past felt like it still had a grip on her, not letting her move forward without the constant fear of it coming back to haunt them. "Samuel," Olivia whispered, her voice breaking the silence between them. Do you think we're really safe now? Can we truly leave all of this behind us? Samuel looked at her, the weight of her question sinking into him. The uncertainty in her eyes mirrored the uncertainty in his heart. After everything they'd done to fight for their love and secure a future together, the idea that they could somehow live in peace felt like a fleeting dream. He stood up slowly, walking over to where she sat today. He knelt beside her, taking her hand in his. I don't know, he admitted, his voice low, his fingers tightening around hers. I can't promise you that we'll never face danger again. I don't know what's coming next, but I do know one thing. Whatever happens, we face it together. Her heart beat faster as she looked into his eyes, those eyes that had always been a symbol of strength for her. The weight of their shared struggle, their survival, was something that bound them, unspoken but understood. Their connection had been forged in the fire of adversity, and while the future was uncertain, they had each other. I'm scared, Samuel, she confessed, the vulnerability in her voice pulling at his heart. I don't want to lose what we fought for. I don't want to lose you. Samuel's thumb brushed over the back of her hand as he looked up at her, his face filled with tenderness. You won't lose me, he promised. Not now. Not ever. But as the words left his lips, something in the air shifted. It was as though the very atmosphere had been holding its breath, waiting for the inevitable. The ringing of the phone shattered the moment, pulling both of them back into the reality of their uncertain lives. Olivia's heart skipped a beat, and Samuel stood up, his instincts already on edge. He walked over to the phone, his hand lingering just above the receiver. He glanced at Olivia, who had already risen from the couch, her face pale. Should I answer it? He asked, the unease evident in his voice. Olivia bit her lip, her mind racing. She had been expecting a call, but not this soon. Not now. Answer it, she whispered, though her voice was filled with apprehension. Samuel hesitated for a moment longer before picking up the phone. He put it to his ear, his eyes never leaving Olivia. Hello? He asked, his voice steady despite the knot forming in his stomach. There was a pause on the other end of the line before a voice Samuel hadn't heard in a long time spoke up. It was calm, almost too calm. Samuel, it's me. We need to talk. I have a proposition for you and Olivia, and I think it's time you both hear me out. It was Victor *, one of Samuel's old business partners, a man whose trust had once meant everything to him. But after everything that had happened with Daniel and Olivia's family, Samuel had distanced himself from the people who had played a role in his downfall. What do you want, Victor? Samuel's voice was sharp, the protective edge in his tone clear. He could feel Olivia's eyes on him, waiting for him to give an answer. Just hear me out, Victor replied smoothly. I'm not the enemy here. If you two want to survive the mess you're in, you're going to need my help. It's as simple as that. Olivia's breath caught in her throat as she stepped forward. Samuel, don't listen to him. He's probably just trying to use us again. Samuel's eyes flicked to Olivia, his expression conflicted. It could be a trap, he said quietly to her. But we can't afford to ignore it. If he's offering help, it means he's involved in whatever is coming next. We need to know what he knows. The silence between them stretched as Olivia thought about the consequences. Could they really trust Victor again? He had betrayed Samuel before, yet somehow his words had the ring of truth. He wasn't the type to offer help without expecting something in return. After a long moment, Samuel spoke again. All right, Victor. What's your proposal? Victor's voice took on a more serious tone. Meet me tomorrow. 10 a.m. I'll be at the old warehouse on Riverside Street. You'll find all the answers you need there. Don't bring anyone else. Just the two of you." Before Samuel could respond, the line went dead. "Tomorrow," Olivia murmured, the weight of the decision heavy on her chest. "What do you think he wants from us?" Samuel stood there, staring at the phone for a moment longer before hanging it up. "I don't know. But I have a feeling whatever it is, it's going to change everything." The next day, Samuel and Olivia drove in silence to Riverside Street, both of them lost in their thoughts. They parked their car in front of the decrepit warehouse, its dark, rusted exterior seemingly untouched by time. The place seemed abandoned, forgotten by the city around it. The air was thick with uncertainty, but there was no turning back now. They walked inside, their footsteps echoing off the walls of the large, empty space. At the far end of the warehouse, Victor stood, waiting. He was calm and composed, his expression unreadable. But Samuel could see the glint of something, power, perhaps, behind his eyes. "Glad you could make it," Victor greeted them. "Now, let's talk business."